Welcome to the Morning Update. I'm Erin Ramsey. The board of the International Olympic Committee meets today to discuss the future of the Tokyo Games in July. Japan is in the middle of a third wave of the coronavirus, and a majority of people don't want the Olympics to go ahead. IOC President Thomas Bach says they're committed to the event.
We are not losing our time and energy on speculations of whether the games are taking place. We are working on how the games will take place.
A decision will be made today on whether to resume a travel bubble with New Zealand. Health experts are waiting for more information about 2 new cases before deciding whether to resume flights. The bubble allows travellers from New Zealand into Australia without 14 days quarantine. The European Union has asked AstraZeneca to explain why it's cutting its supplies of the COVID-19 vaccine. The company has been accused of diverting vaccines to other countries, including the UK. There'll be more talks today, but AstraZeneca remains defiant.
It's very critical that any measures proposed by the European Commission do not restrict or have other negative impacts on exports of vaccines.
Britain is introducing mandatory hotel quarantine for some travellers arriving in the UK. Residents returning home from red zones, including Portugal, South America and parts of Southern Africa, will face 10 days in isolation. And 3 American civilians will spend a week at the International Space Station next year as part of a private mission by SpaceX. They've each paid $71 million for the trip and will undergo 15 weeks of training in the lead-up. To sport, Cricket Australia is yet to sign off on biosecurity rules for the Test tour of South Africa in March. There are concerns about a more contagious strain of COVID-19 in South Africa, where there are more than 6,000 new cases every day. In league, Benji Marshall is set to begin training with South Sydney tomorrow ahead of his 19th season in the NRL. The 35-year-old was dumped by the West Tigers and struggling to find a club before being offered a 1-year deal by South's coach Wayne Bennett. And in basketball, the Adelaide 36ers have beat the New Zealand Breakers 88-78 tonight. Cairns Taipans are at home to the Illawarra Hawks. In entertainment news, Halsey has announced that she is pregnant with her first child. The singer posted the news online with 3 maternity photos and tagged screenwriter and boyfriend Aliv Aiden. He then reposted a photo to his story with 3 love heart emojis. Australia's most iconic song celebrates a milestone today. It's 30 years since Daryl Braithwaite first debuted Horses. The 72-year-old says there was only one time 20 years ago when he left the song off a set list from a show, and it didn't go down well with fans. And an image has been released of a first look at Kristen Stewart as Princess Diana in the upcoming film Spencer. The story will centre around a weekend at Sandringham Estate when Diana decides to split from Charles. And that's the latest from the Nova Podcasts team. We'll see you this afternoon for another episode of The Update.